Virtual healthcare via video visits is the new normal. Sasa Doctor have developed an Android app available on Google Play Store. Download the Sasa Doctor app to get to consult a doctor via video. Imagine no queues, no traffic, no COVID-19 exposure, convenience at your comfort. You can sign up with us as a doctor too. Stay home, stay safe. Get treated where you're seated with Sasa Doctor. Virtual healthcare via video visits is the new normal. Sasa Doctor have developed an Android app available on Google Play Store. Download the Sasa Doctor app to get to consult a doctor via video. Imagine no queues, no traffic, no COVID-19 exposure, convenience at your comfort. You can sign up with us as a doctor too. Stay home, stay safe. Get treated where you're seated with Sasa Doctor. Healthcare via video visits is the new normal. Sasa Doctor have developed an Android app available on Google Play Store. Download the Sasa Doctor app to get to consult a doctor via video. Imagine no queues, no traffic, no COVID-19 exposure, convenience at your comfort. You can sign up with us as a doctor too. Stay home, stay safe. Get treated where you're seated with Sasa Doctor. Healthcare via video visits is the new normal. Sasa Doctor have developed an Android app available on Google Play Store. Download the Sasa Doctor app to get to consult a doctor via video. Imagine no queues, no traffic.
Contact with anyone confirmed with COVID-19. Make sure you follow your local guidance. Each country or area has its own levels of transmission, resources, and recommendations.
Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy with Sasa Doctor. Here is a detailed introduction to navigate through the Sasa Doctor application. Step 1. Here is how to download the application. On your phone menu, click and open the Play Store application. On the search bar, type in Sasa Doctor as one word, click on the application and proceed to installation. Once the application is installed, click on Open. This should be the first screen that appears. Step 2. Registration. Here is how to register on the Sasa Doctor application. Click on the Create Account button to initiate a first-time registration. You have two options, to either register as a doctor or a patient. Click on the Patient button. Allow all prompts and permissions to ensure the application has the required access to run on your phone. Enter all information, including first and last name, username, which we prefer you use your mobile number, as this can only be registered to a specific person. Enter and confirm password and hit on the Next button. On this page, enter mobile number starting with 707, date of birth, gender, town or city, national ID, passport or military ID. Upload the front side, back side of your identification document and a selfie while holding your identification card and/or insurance card. Click on the Next button to proceed. On this page, you have an option to add your email address, physical address, employer, insurer and referral code. Kindly note, this page is not optional to anyone using insurance as their mode of payment. On the final registration page, add a clear selfie as your profile picture at the time of registration, to ensure ease of verification when seeing a doctor. Remember to cite if you have any existing medical conditions. Click on the Submit button. You have now been successfully registered. Step 3. How to add your family on the application. Click on the Add Family icon. Add all required information. This includes a clear profile picture, preferably one taken at the time of registration to ease the verification process when seeing a doctor, first and last name, national identification number. Note, leave blank while adding those under the age of 18 years, add relationship, gender, date of birth, town or city, and finally, remember to cite if they have any existing medical conditions. Once all information is added, click on the Submit button. Note, after adding a member, you can click on the pen tool to make any amendments. Children under the age of 10 are allowed to change their profile pictures every year during their birthday. Step 4. Modes of payment and how to see a doctor. Select Patient to see doctor. Click on the See Doctor Now button. You can either choose a doctor of choice using listing from A to Z, fee to high or specialty. Once on the Setup Payment page. There are several ways to make payment on the Sasa Doctor application, which include M-Pesa, mobile money, credit card, insurance, Sasa wallet and/or by using a coupon code. If you have been issued with a coupon code to use, enter and click Apply. Remember not to click on the other listed options when using a coupon code. Simply enter the code and click on Apply, then hit the Next button to proceed to see a doctor. Read and accept all prompts. Take a clear selfie of yourself for verification prior to seeing a doctor. Read and accept the terms and conditions of the member's declaration consent. The connection to the doctor begins. In a few seconds, the virtual consultation on the Sasa Doctor application starts. On the consultation screen, there are 4 buttons to take note of. From left to right, there is a microphone icon. This is the mute and unmute button. There is a flashlight icon. This is the flashlight on and off button. To enhance the video,
Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to the webinar today about emotional hygiene. My name's Francis Osiemo. I'm the Chief Operating Officer, SASA Doctor. I'm joined in by Wanjiru Nyambura, who is our administrator and also a practitioner. She's a general practitioner, just a clinician, but has a special interest on mental health or mental well-being. Counseling psychologists, Faith. I don't know if she's in yet, or who will give us some insights. So we are going to start in the next few. We'll give 4 minutes just before we start. Faith, are you around? Just a minute.
Hi, Francis. Yes, I'm around.
Oh, Faith, you're there. Thank you very much for joining in. Okay. So, some things that I would like to say just before we start is that Sasa Doctor is a telehealth company, and we also have physical clinics, one in Westlands, another one in Kariobangi, another one at a place called Kakamega, and we have other partner clinics in Nakuru, Naivasha, Mombasa, etc. And basically, what we do is we are trying to revolutionize how healthcare is delivered in Kenya. And one of the things that we are keen on is mental health. One thing that I know, there is no health without mental health, and this is something that has been talked about even by the WHO. And basically, with telehealth, brings in convenience of being able to access mental health. So anyone who's listening online anywhere, uh, kindly send in your questions. Those ones who are on Zoom, you can send under the Q&A. Those ones who are watching on YouTube and Facebook, kindly put your questions there. Our team will be able to look at what is going on, and then we'll be able to answer the questions live. This webinar is going to be on for the next 45 minutes, and after that, we are going to go off. So we'll start with Wanjiru Nyambura, who's, as I've told you, a clinician, a clinic officer, who has a special interest in mental. One of our counseling psychologists. She's called what we call emotional hygiene. And I would like to start by asking, what is emotional hygiene? Before you make any presentation, the two of you, I would like both of you to give introductory remarks by saying, what is emotional hygiene? The way you understand it. Both of you. Can start with Wanjiru.
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Wanjiro Nyambura. I'm the clinical admin at Sasa Doctor. So my part more, I'll be presenting more on emotional intelligence, but also I'd like to give something about the emotional hygiene. Emotional hygiene is being aware of your psychological state, being aware of what you're feeling, how you feeling, how your feelings affect other people around you, and also how your feelings affect you. That's what I would like to say. Pass it over to Faith.
Thank you so much, Wanjiru. So for me, emotional hygiene, as Wanjiru has said, is the awareness that you have about your emotions, your psychological well-being, and how well you can control your emotions that affect your behavior, and eventually ensuring that you pass on emotions that are not toxic, emotions that do not injure others, but you have a wellness that is both mental and emotional. Thank you so much. Back to Francis.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes. Um, One of the things that I'm really keen on is why talk about some of these things? Why talk about emotional hygiene? Why talk about mental hygiene in the first place? You realize that in our country right now, in the world right now, there is a lot of things that are going on, including the pandemic. People have lost jobs. People have been enclosed in environments where they are not used to. Now, so it's really important for everybody who's attending this webinar to understand that emotional hygiene is part of our mental wellness. And there is usually first aid that you can be able to do, and so that you're able to control your emotions. So without further ado, I would like to have our team present to you what they think about emotional hygiene, what they trust that you will help you be able to manage your emotions better. All right. We'll start with Faith, then we'll
Yes.
go to, are we starting with Faith?
Yes, we are.
Okay, I can see you sharing your screen. You can put it on a slideshow and then we can proceed. Good. Now, go ahead, please.
So, welcome again. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It's very important that we all take care of our emotions because they eventually build up to our psychological being and eventually our physical being. We cannot be human beings if we didn't have emotions, neither would we be human beings if we didn't have our mental part. Therefore, as much as my presentation is branded emotional intelligence, we'll cover both emotional intelligence and emotional hygiene. First, to begin with emotional resilience. This is being mindful of our psychological our psychological health and adopting daily habits to monitor and control our psychological wounds when sustained. This is
So,
also known as
Faith, I need you to be more audible. You're really not audible enough.
all right.
Kindly, you can raise your
Okay. Voice. Okay. All right. So we are back. I was talking about emotional resilience. This is being mindful of our psychological health and adapting daily habits to monitor and to monitor and evaluate our psychological wounds when sustained. Emotional health or emotional health is also known as emotional first aid. So, how do I know that I have attained a psychological wound? Number one, you need to pay attention to your emotions for any moment. It doesn't matter how it is, it doesn't matter where you are. In case you feel any pain, it means that you have endured an emotional wound. So what will you do when you have felt pain? Pay attention, stop, ask yourself, why am I feeling pain? What has caused this pain? What is at the bottom of my pain? Is it an injury? That is it someone who has spoken rudely to me? Is it a thought that has crossed my mind that was painful? Was it someone who has abused me? And when you get to the bottom of your emotional pain, then you will know what type of psychological wound you have incurred. And so we move on ahead to just a minute. We move on ahead to knowing what psychological wounds are. The first one will be the first and most prevalent psychological wound that we face in our everyday life is failure. You wake up, sometimes you find that you have failed to wake up at the right time. You are running a project and you have failed in that project. It didn't come out as you had planned. You are doing an exam, maybe you're a student and you didn't get the exact grade that you were looking for, and therefore you incur a psychological wound. You have failed. And how do you deal with this? We will look at it. The other type of psychological wound that you can have is a trauma. Trauma here, I mean loss of a loved one, abuse, violence, facing a major accident. If you have faced a major accident in your life, you're likely going to have a psychological wound. The other one is rejection. This one is the biggest. We are rejected every day, every moment, in relationships, at work, when we apply for work, by friends who are our daily buddies, and it's such a painful thing to do. The next one is abandonment. For children, this is their worst psychological wound they can incur. It is usually almost like abuse, sexual abuse, and mostly the symptoms for abandonment are the same as the symptoms for abuse. Our other psychological wound is isolation. When you go into chronic isolation, like we have just done, therefore you are going to incur a psychological wound. Next one will be chronic loneliness. For those who live alone and they have no one at all to talk to. They live in areas where they have zero access to people. That is a psychological wound. We move on. So how can you practice? First and foremost, you need to find someone to talk to. Seems our slides are not
We lost Manjiru, you can proceed with that. I think we've lost Faith.
Yeah, I think her network went down. I can start with my presentation as we wait for Faith to come back. I'll start by sharing my screen. As everybody has heard, my name is Wanjiru Nyambura. I'm a general practitioner and also have a special interest in mental health. Today I'll be presenting on emotional intelligence. Just a minute. I hope everyone is able to see my screen.
Yeah, we are able to see your screen. Just proceed.
Yeah. So today I'll be presenting on emotional intelligence. So by the time we leave this webinar, we should be able to define what is emotional intelligence, what are some of the skills that we have under emotional intelligence, and look at some of the triggers that we have for emotions and tips on how to improve on your emotional intelligence. Those are the four main answers I would like you to have by the time you leave this webinar. So what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is also known as the emotional quotient. Just a minute. It's the ability to recognize and understand your emotions. Using this awareness to manage and also to manage your relationship with others and also to manage your emotions. So you need to know what you're feeling. You need to be aware of what you're feeling at every state of your mind. Emotion is a state of mind that is triggered by either internal stimuli, external stimuli. So there are some few basic emotions that we experience every now and then in our daily lives. You can feel happiness. Happiness is on and off, depends on the situation. There's sadness, there's fear, there's disgust, and there's anger, which is most commonly alternating with happiness. And there is also surprise. So as we said, emotional intelligence is also known as the emotional quotient. So at every moment in your life, you need to know what state of mind are you? Are you angry? Are you happy? The situation that you're in, are you feeling fear? Are you disgusted? Or are you surprised? So when you're aware of your emotion, that's when you can be able to control your emotion. If you know you're happy, you know not to overdo it. When you know you're angry, you know not to overdo it. You know what to do when you're angry to go back to normal. So this is a quote by Aristotle, that anybody can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, and for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not within everybody's power, and it's not easy at all. Imagine being angry, the right amount of anger, to the right person, at the right time, in the right way. It's not humanly possible. Most of the time, we just get angry and then deal with the issues later to know. We don't take time to see whether it was even the situation needed anger to apply. So our brains are wired to make us emotional creatures. We experience the emotions, the emotional response to an event before it reaches even our part of the brain that thinks rationally. So maybe somebody called you, maybe somebody abused you. Before even your brain can be able to think rationally, why did that person call me that? Why did that person call me out? Your brain has already started processing the anger, and you react to the emotions according before you even able to absorb and digest everything. So the more we think about a feeling, the more productive the emotions become. So the more you think about that somebody abused me, the more the anger builds up. Or maybe that person belittled me, the more you become angry with the situation. So there are few skills when it comes to emotional intelligence that we apply to help us control our emotion at every moment. There's self-awareness, there's self-management, social awareness, and there's also relationship management. If you look at the first two, those are focusing more on you, not more on personally on you. You have to be self-aware of your emotions. And then after you're aware, I'm sad or I'm angry or maybe I'm lonely, then you have to learn how to manage that emotional state. That's why you go to self-management. So that the first two are more on you. The next two are more on the environment and the people around you. You have to be socially aware of what other people feel, what emotions you provoke in others when you do some things, and then you have to be able to manage those emotions not to affect others if they do affect others. So the skills of emotional intelligence will start with self-awareness. So what is self-awareness? This is the ability to accurately perceive your own emotions. Stay aware of your own emotion as they happen. You need to know what triggers your anger, what triggers your happiness, what triggers your sadness, what triggers your surprise or fear. So, and there's a quote there that says, the greatest of all force is to be conscious of none. Imagine you're not sure of what you're feeling. You're not sure whether you're angry. You're not sure whether you're happy. If you're not sure of what you're feeling, you cannot be able to control your emotions since you're not aware of them. So stay aware of your emotion as they happen. Keep on top of how you tend to respond to specific situations and people. So maybe there's a situation that provokes anger in you, there's a situation that provokes fear in you, there's a person that provokes either disgust or maybe anger in you. You need to be aware so that you're aware when it happens and you can be able to avoid or maybe control before it happens. So how do you improve your self-awareness? The first thing I said, you need to be aware of what you're feeling. See yourself for who you are, what you think and what you feel. So you need to be aware of your emotion. Watch your emotions like a hawk, even your physiological state. There's some things that happen to your body and you know, I'm about to get angry. Some of them you might find when somebody has really, really provoked you, you feel like you're burning up, you feel like you're heating up. Maybe you're having like a fever, maybe your heart rate has raised, you've started sweating. Those are psychological signs to show you maybe you're angry or maybe you're happy, depends. So you need to be aware of your psychological state. Some people even start sweating when they're about to get angry. So the other thing, you need to track and backtrack your emotions. In a difficult conversation or a meeting, learn your tendencies in emotionally arousing situations. So you need to be aware of every situation that happens, what kind of emotions they provoke in you. You need to be aware of if I go to a meeting and maybe somebody is shutting me off in the meeting when I'm speaking, that one provokes anger in you. And you'll be able to know. Maybe you start fast breathing, you start sweating, you start clenching your fist, you know you're getting angry. Use paired sharing or peer or supervision. You can share your emotions with other people to let them know how you're feeling. And when you share something, you feel like a weight has been lifted. It's not all of it, but you feel like something has been lifted. Maybe a colleague at work makes you angry by what they do. Maybe when somebody comes and belittles you at work, tells you, you cannot be able to hack that project. And maybe that provokes anger. It's good to let them know, when you tell me that, that makes me so angry. I would appreciate it if you don't do that next time. It's always good to share your emotion. Own your actions. Take full responsibility for what you say and you do. Most of the people you find, you're angry, but when somebody points out you're angry, you don't want to take responsibility of your anger. If you're angry, those are human emotions and everybody experiences the emotions. If you're angry, it's good to own up, because once you're aware you're angry and when somebody points out, you look angry, you can tell them, by the way, I'm angry because of this and this, and then you'll be able to calm yourself down since you're already aware of your anger. So the other part we're going to do is self-management. After you're self-aware, self-management. This is the ability to use awareness of your emotion to stay flexible and positively direct your behavior. So when you're already aware I'm angry, you have to devise ways of how to get over your anger. There are people, beside anger, there are people who get happy and their happiness is affecting others. You need to be able to balance your emotions. If you're happy, don't overdo it. If you're angry, don't overdo it. If you're surprised, if you're fearing, you don't overdo. So you need to be able to be aware so that you can be able to manage. Managing your emotions, reactions at all situations. So, and there's a quote there, the first and the best victory is to conquer self. So before you are able to tackle the other people's emotions, before you are able to interact with other people, let them know how you're feeling, and be able to manage your emotions, you need to be able to conquer your own emotions before you can be able to interact with others. Because the moment you come to me and you're not aware of what is happening to your emotions, you'll not be able to tackle your own emotions. So there's a photo there that shows a very, very angry woman. And the question is, what are your triggers and what makes you want to blow out your emotional gasket? What makes you blow up? You find people, you ever seen people in traffic, somebody maybe has maybe touched their car, or maybe you've moved in the wrong direction, and you find them abusing each other, or maybe somebody has stopped to throw insults at you. That shows you're having emotional outbursts. It might be right, yes, the person had done wrong to you, but you need to understand, what does that provoke in you? Provokes anger. So what do I do? Should I go abusing them, or should just it has already happened? I think I should just go ahead and move to my lane. So what are your emotional triggers? You need to know. Maybe feeling excluded at work. Maybe people are doing a project, or maybe people are going out to have fun, and then your friend missed out to tell you. Maybe that makes you feel sad. So you need to know, feeling excluded make you feel sad. What do you do about it? Sometimes you feel powerless in some situation. Maybe it's your boss who is bossing you around or giving you a lot of work, and you feel powerless since you can't talk back to them. You're fearing to lose your job. So you need to know, what does that make you feel? Maybe feeling powerless makes you fear, or brings emotions like fear. You're fearing to lose your job. Maybe sometimes you're unheard. It comes to a relationship. You're trying to talk to your partner, you're trying to tell them, this is what I want done, this is what I want done, but they're all about what they want done. They're not able to hear you out. You're not able to reason with them. Maybe that provokes anger, fear, loneliness. Maybe you're scolded at work, or you're judged the wrong way, blamed or disrespected. Sometimes you feel like you lack affection, maybe from your family members, or from your partners. There's another one, maybe you feel ignored. That also can provoke emotions in you. When you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling forgotten, maybe when it comes, maybe let's give an example. You're living in a family, and maybe your husband works in town and you're home alone, and maybe he stays for 4 days without calling you. You'd feel forgotten. What would that provoke in you? You feel lonely, you feel like you don't matter. So you need to understand what every situation brings. When you're feeling unsafe, maybe you're walking in a street and you're lonely, what will that provoke in you? Fear. When you're feeling frustrated or trapped in a situation, and when you're feeling like you cannot be able to speak up, or you're feeling manipulated or controlled. So all those are things that can trigger different emotions in you. Depends on the kind of emotion they're going to trigger. So let's go to the next slide. So your emotional triggers, what you know, some of the people you can be able to read even other people's emotions by what they do. If you're careful enough. So you see somebody who is angry, they bang the door. There are people who just go down and write an email without even thinking. In that moment of anger or surprise or happiness, they just go write down an email and send it out. There are people who hold grudges, and there are people who like getting even. There are people who like sarcasm also and inappropriate humor. I'm sure these happen, not stereotyping, but women like sarcasm and inappropriate humor. Maybe this can happen at work, which also, when you use sarcasm to people and inappropriate humor, you need to know what you can be able to provoke different emotions to you. in other people. There are people who isolate or maybe withdraw from the rest of the people. So becoming socially aware. So social awareness. This is the ability to pick up on emotions and emotions of others, understand what is really going on, understand what other people are thinking and what other people are feeling. So there's a quote there, um, resolve to be tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant with the weak and wrong. Sometime in your life you have been all of this. So sometimes in your life you've been weak, you be the aged, one day you're still young, you be the weak. So when you're sympathetic to others and compassionate, we're going to build a better society for everybody. So understanding what other people are thinking and feeling, even if you don't feel the same way, it's a good thing. You can become socially aware if you learn some basic skills like listening to people better, you paying attention to their voice. You can be able to tell with the kind of tone a person is speaking to you, can be able to tell, this person is happy today, or this person is mad, or this person is angry, or this person is frustrated. So be able to pay attention to such simple things in other people. Facial expression and body language. That is social. You're socially aware of what is happening around you, and you can be able to avoid situation like when you know what tone your boss uses when they are angry. You'll be able to avoid them when they are angry, so that you don't provoke a confrontation, and which end up being badly. You end up being wounded, and you end up also being angry. So when you're paying attention to such things, facial expressions and body language in different people, you'll be able to know what they're feeling. Reflecting back, let other people know what you're feeling, and also acknowledge what other people are feeling. When somebody is angry, don't show them they're not supposed to be angry. Don't make people feel like they are not entitled for the emotions. When somebody is angry, don't tell them you're not supposed to be angry, or don't start comparing problems. Telling them, you don't even have a problem. Have you seen the other person what they're going through? Or have you seen what is let me use an example. Have you seen what Mike does when they're angry? So don't try to compare. Show empathy. Try to show other people that you know what they're feeling. If they're angry, if they're happy, share in their anger, share in their happiness. In that, they'll be able to know this person exactly knows what I'm feeling. But when you assume what the other person is feeling, they feel like you don't care about their feelings. If you start belittling them, if you start telling them whatever situation you're in it does not qualify you to be angry, or does not qualify you to be happy. So there's another quote there, for social awareness requires empathy. Empathy is the ability to see the world from another person's point of view, and to identify and understand another person's situation and feelings and the motive. So when you tell somebody, I know exactly what you're feeling, maybe they were sad, they were lonely, they were happy, that makes them feel better. That makes them know that you share in what they're feeling. So let's go to the next one. How do you improve self-awareness? We have already gone through that. Um, by knowing yourself, taking your responsibility of your actions, and so forth and so forth. So you can improve your self-awareness by when you spend extra time observing and listening. It's not always you talking. Always remember to listen to the other person, to your spouse, and it comes to your family, your children also. Remember also children have emotions. And they do, most of the time people dismiss children like they don't have emotions. You should also listen to children. They also have emotions. Take some time to observe. Take some time to listen. Ask, what are you feeling today? If you can be able, if maybe it's at home and you find your husband is just seated, they're not speaking, maybe most of the time they're talking, they're bubbly, they're happy. Take some time to ask them, what are you feeling today? What's up today? And listen. Don't ask and then go on and talking. Listen to them. When you give a person a listening ear, they tend to assume you're sharing in their own happiness or loneliness or anger, whatever they're going through. Maintain eye contact when somebody is speaking to you. I know in this era of gadgets, they've made it even worse to maintain eye contact. You're speaking to somebody or you're sharing, you might miss a lot when you don't maintain eye contact. Maybe you're just on your phone, you're going to your Facebook, your Instagram, and when a person confronts you by the way you're not paying attention to me, maybe you're looking at your phone. Most of the time, people deny I'll be able to multitask. So in that moment that somebody wants to share something with you, maintain eye contact. Give the speaker your full attention. Play back and summarize. Try on their own shoes. If I was in the same situation, how would I feel? How would I want somebody else to treat me? If I wanted to share out like, at home, I'm so mad, my husband is not listening to me, maybe you're sharing to your girlfriend. How would I like the other person to receive the news? So also suspend your judgment. Stop judging people. In as much as I know humans like judging, but stop trying to judge a person. Listen to them, share in their pain, share in their happiness. Stop throwing in judgment when they're telling you they're part of the story. Learn to read body languages and also decipher emotions in speech and tone. I said the way if you're used to a person, you know when their tone is changing, you know what their tone dictates. Maybe anger, maybe they're happy, or maybe they're sad. So use of self-awareness to manage your relationships. So ability to use awareness of emotions and emotions of others to manage your interactions successfully. So when you're aware of what is happening to you emotionally, when you're aware of what is happening to the people around you emotionally, you create a good social environment where everybody feels appreciated, where everybody feels like you're understanding each other. So ensure clear communication and effective handling of conflicts. So there's a quote there that says people aren't either wicked or noble. They are like chef salads with good things and bad things chopped up and mixed up in a vinaigrette of confusion and conflict. So it's not always that people are good and it's not always that people are bad. So you need to be able to decipher that. So the next part is improving your relationship management. So how do you after now you're self-aware, you're aware you're angry. What am I supposed to do? I'm aware I'm happy. I'm aware I'm this. You're aware that the other person is angry, they're happy, you're able to share in, you're able to show empathy, to share into their emotions. How do you improve your relationship management? The first thing is seek to build high and quality and trust relationship. Trust comes a long way and trust is earned. So when you build up trust with people, it helps you manage your emotions and also be able to decipher the emotions better when you're interacting with them. Try to discover what role emotions are playing in your interactions with others. There's some habits that we do. There's some people who like sarcasm or like the bad humor. You should be able to learn, in as much as it's humor, there's somewhere to cut a line. When it comes to at work or maybe at home, you should be able to know where to draw a line so that you don't provoke maybe uh, anger in other people. Maybe what you do provokes makes people angry. You should be able to know when I take maybe let's say maybe it's at home. When if I do this, I know my wife will get angry. If I come home late by 12 every day, I know my wife will be angry. If I leave the towel here, my wife will be angry. If I leave the toothpaste, if when I leave the toothpaste open, my wife becomes angry. So you should be able to know your actions. What do they provoke in others. And if it's something you can be able to change or not do, why not do it? If it's not necessary to do it, if it's something that you can change, I don't say you change 100% to a person, but some of the things you can be able to change so that you have a better living environment with each other. If you sense tension or other emotional reactions in a person's body language or speech, ask questions to seek to understand. Maybe you find you go home, you find your wife seated, they're not speaking to you, they're not serving you. So it's good to don't also do the same. Don't not speak to them. Ask them what is happening. Can we speak about it? Can we solve it? And try to understand. When they try to speak, listen. Be quick to settle disputes, differences of opinion, and misunderstanding. I know this happens all the time at work, at home. We don't agree on everything, but we should be able to settle our disputes in the fastest way possible without having to carry forward disputes, and also respect others' different opinions. If it's not affecting you so much, it's always good. Sometimes it's good to agree with other people. It's not always about what you think. Even other people have their own opinion. So organization engagement, there are vital things in an organization that helps create a good social environment. The first thing is trust. People have a sense of safety, assurance to share and go beyond their comfort zone. If somebody shares something with you, kindly don't go sharing out, because they're building a trust in you to be able to share in you. So once I share something and you go share it out with somebody else, then I lose trust. And trust makes people feel safe. They make people feel comfortable, and they are comfortable in their zone because they're able to trust people. The other thing is motivation. People feel energized and committed to doing more than the minimum. So when there is trust, people are motivated to work. You're motivated to go home. The other thing is change. Employees and institutions are adaptable and innovative. The other thing is teamwork. Collaborate with other people to help you solving your challenges. Execution. Individuals are both focused and accountable. So those are just the few vital signs we've gone over on organization. So the other quote is, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage your distressing emotions, if you can't have empathy and have effective relationship, then no matter how smart you are, you're not going to go very far. So imagine you're going, everywhere you go, there are chaos, you're abusing, you're yelling at people, you're causing a lot of harm to psychologically to other people. In as much as you're intelligent, that is, if you're not if you're not emotionally intelligent to be able to handle other people's emotions and also your emotions, you're not going to go very far because you can't go alone. When you want to walk far, you walk with people. So you need to be able to understand and manage your own emotions. So the other thing, we have already gone through that, how to improve your emotional intelligence. The good news is emotional intelligence can be learned. So it doesn't mean where you are, you cannot be helped. You can be able to learn and develop emotional intelligence, as well as by working on your skills in the 5 areas that we have tackled, and you can use the following strategies. So you can observe how you react to people. Do not rush into judgment before you know all the facts. Before you are able to go to each side of the story, don't rush to judgment. Do not stereotype. This happens mostly. Have you ever been trying to argue as a woman and somebody tells you, wanawake ukuwa hivyo? Don't be a stereotype. That you've used a stereotype that women are always like that. Don't be quick to judge. Look honestly at what you think and interact with other people. Try to put yourself in their place. and be more open and accepting to their perspective and needs. In as much as you would like to be heard, be also ready to accept what other people are telling you and and also be ready to listen to them. Look at your work environment. Do you seek attention for your accomplishment? Humility can be a wonderful quality, and it doesn't mean that you're shy or lack self-confidence. When you practice humility, you say that you know what you did, and you can quietly and confident about it. Give others a chance to shine. It's not always you. When you do something, you don't need to seek acknowledgement all the time for your simple accomplishment. Sometimes humility goes a long way. Put the focus on them and don't worry too much about getting praise on yourself. Do a self-evaluation. Try out emotional intelligence quiz. What are your weaknesses? Sometimes if you know you have a weakness that you can avoid that triggers a bad emotion in you, try to look for your weaknesses so that you can be able to avoid them. Are you willing to accept that you're not perfect and you could work on the same areas to make yourself a better person? So we are not everybody, as we said, it's not possible to have all your emotions in check. So we also have our own shortcomings. When you acknowledge that you're not perfect and you're willing to work on yourself, that's the first step. Have the courage to look at yourself honestly, and it can change your life. Sometimes you wrong people, and sometimes you're in the wrong. Try to listen. Also try to say sorry when you've wronged other people. A sorry goes a long way. When you know it's your fault, take your fault, take responsibility. The other thing is examine how you react to stressful situations. So when you're under stress, how do you react? Do you become upset every time there's a delay or there's something that happens the way you didn't want? Do you like blaming others or getting angry, or um, even when it's not their fault? The ability to stay calm in control and difficult situation is highly valued in the business and outside world. Keep your emotions under control even when things go wrong. Things won't go right all the time. It's not even possible. Human it's not even in nature, not everything goes right. So you should be able to know, even when things go wrong, you should be able to calm yourself down. If you're angry, if you're fearing, if you're upset, if you're surprised, you should be able to keep your emotions in check. Keep them under control even when things are not going the right way. Take responsibilities of your actions. You don't have to keep on blaming others. If you hurt somebody's feelings, apologize directly. Don't send somebody. Go directly to them, face them, look them into their eyes, say sorry. Don't ignore what you did and avoid the person. This is what most of the people do. I've wronged you. I don't want to face you, so what do? I just avoid you. So that I expecting that in the long run you're going to forget and forgive me. No, a sorry goes a long way. Go to the person, apologize. People are usually more willing to forgive and forget if you make an honest attempt to make things right. If it's your wife, you've wronged them, go to them, say sorry. Um, and you'll be surprised how people forget very fast. But when you start avoiding me, you avoid me for a whole maybe 6 months, you think I've forgotten, you come talk to me. But deep down, I still have that day that you wronged me. I've not forgiven you because you have not seek forgiveness from me. So examine your action, how they affect others. And before you take those actions, if your decision will impact others, put yourself in their place. How will they feel if you do this? Would you want to that experience? If you must take action, how can you help others deal with the effect afterwards? So sometimes when you put other people's emotions in place, and you don't want to impact other people negatively. If something that is impacting people positive, then just go ahead and do it. But if it's something that will affect people negatively, you need to evaluate, is it important to do this? Do I need to do this? And with that, you'll be able to know, if I do this, if somebody else did this, will I appreciate? Will I be happy? What will happen to me? So those are the few things that you can do to improve your emotional intelligence. And once you're able to improve your emotional intelligence, be aware of what you're feeling, what your actions provoke in others, and we live in a good environment. We won't have people hurling insult at each other in traffic, because you're able to understand, if I do this, what will happen. So, and that's where we come to the end of emotional intelligence topic. I hope you've gotten home with a few points here and there: how to control your emotions, how to keep your emotions in check, how to be self-aware of what emotions you're experiencing. And the first thing before anything else is being aware of what you're feeling before you can be able to handle other people's feelings. And I don't know whether I've got beyond time, and that's all from my end. I'll welcome questions. Pass it over to you, Francis.
Thank you very much, Wanjiru. I don't know if Faith came back on. However, I'm going to talk a bit about what she was saying in terms of, you can stop sharing your screen, please. What she was talking about on emotional intelligence. So she was talking about emotional hygiene, sorry. So the few things that I would like from this webinar people to understand. Most of the time, we realize that we have wounds. Yeah, when you have a cut, for instance, you will take care of that cut nicely until it heals. However, in our case, psychological wounds actually happen. And with psychological wounds, the challenge is we don't take care of those wounds. And when we don't take care of those wounds, what happens? They develop fast and they become bad. Yeah. So we need to realize when we are having these wounds so that we are able to take care of these wounds. And the first thing that you will be able to do for you to realize that you even have a wound, you need to be self-aware. You need to know everything about yourself. What kind of a person are you? And then from there, you'll be able to have what Wanjiru talked about, that is the emotional intelligence, so that you're able to now look at what in your environment, what you are able to change, what you're able to adapt with, so that you're able to practice good emotional hygiene. Now, within the emotional hygiene, you need to manage the wounds. And the wounds are usually stress and depression. We call them so many words, different words. But the wounds that they cause is, for instance, when you failed in your exam, that is a wound. You now lose some element of self-worth. And when you are losing that self-worth, you are having an actual wound which needs to be healed, which needs to be taken care of. Some other things is trauma or loss of a loved one, abuse, violence, major accidents. All these things usually make people to have wounds. Sometimes there is an element of rejection, abandonment, isolation, and something that we've noted most of the time, especially with teenagers and young adults, is chronic loneliness. And chronic loneliness comes as a result of the way we are raised. And that those are the people that you get, they tell you they are introverts, etc., etc. So it's really important for us to be able to realize that we are facing this, and then we manage it. And there are 4 A's that I want, even if you don't understand anything about this webinar, there are 4 things that I want you to understand. What we call the 4 A's actually, the 4 A's in stress management. Usually, if you are having an issue, If you can avoid the stress that comes with it, please try to. If you can alter the outcome of that issue, please do it. If you can adapt, yeah, it's really good. Or accept what you have. For instance, if I've failed in an exam today, an exam is not a measure of my intelligence. It's actually part of what I have learned. It's not fully what I've learned. So somebody needs to be self-aware to be able to accept that this only examined a small part of my studies. So it's really important for us to be able to understand that. Then also realize how your actions or how you affect other people in your environment. So number one, you need to recognize that you yourself, when you're practicing emotional hygiene, you need to recognize that you are in an emotion. Then number two, be gentle to yourself. Don't be too hard. Sometimes we become too hard, and that makes us have more issues. Don't replay these events. If I did this, this was the outcome, this would have been the outcome. No, just move on. Don't replay. It's already happened. There's nothing. You can't rewind. It is life. You can't go back and change anything. Then change your perspective. Yeah, be positive. Yeah, so if you're able to change your perspective and practice positivity, that will help you. Something else, we need to realize whatever is going on around us. You need to pay attention to yourself and the other people that are around you. Accept all the challenges that are there. Take an initiative. Take an initiative to be able to change something about your life or somebody else's life. Impact on somebody else's life. Yeah. Then prevent what we call emotional bleeding. Emotional bleeding, you will not be able to see it. You will never see blood coming out, but there are people who are bleeding out there. Yeah. Then something else, secure your self-esteem. Self-esteem is what usually causes even, we end up getting patients or people who are committing suicide. This is one of the biggest mental issues that we have, suicide. And last month we talked about suicide. Whoever was able to listen in, you can really understand where that comes from. When you lose the self-esteem, high chances are you're going into stress, then depression, then you can have suicidal tendencies and all that. But if you're able to draw back, you're able to prevent emotional bleeding, secure yourself, you can easily end up having good emotional hygiene. Then you need to secure you need to get rid of excessive guilt. Sometimes I'm guilty of something that I couldn't have prevented. Yeah, I couldn't have predicted. There's things that we can't change. We have to accept that we can't change it. Then you can now easily restore your worthiness and then fight negativity. Then be equipped emotionally. So those are the basic things that you need to understand so that you're able to practice good emotional hygiene. Thank you very much. Now we can take our questions. Oh, there is somebody who has asked, how do you proactively and intentionally manage the negative emotions, e.g., anger, fear, anxiety, sadness, once you become aware of them? So what I've just said a few minutes ago, or a few seconds ago, when you realize that you have these negative emotions, those are wounds. You need to take care of them. When you are aware, you've already seen this is a wound. Now, how do you take care of them? Number one, you need to seek help. And seeking help doesn't mean you'll have to first go to a clinic or to a psychiatrist or a psychotherapist, etc. No, you can start with your own environment. Start with your own environment by talking to the people around you. Remember, talking is really important for you to be able to let that out. And then you have to accept that these issues that you are facing, yeah, is as a result of what you are going through, or whatever has caused the fear, whatever has caused the anger, whatever has caused the anxiety or sadness. You need to accept that challenge that has caused this. And then from there, you secure your self-esteem. And then when you secure your self-esteem, it's very easy now to restore your self-worth. Remember, all this, it is you to be able to do it. For you to even go to a practitioner, to come to us, we will assist you to be able to do it yourself. Remember, we don't do it ourselves. You do it yourself. You're the first doctor, and I always say this. You are your own first doctor because you are watching your body 24/7, 365. You are the one who knows yourself. Nobody else does. When you go to a practitioner, you will just open up. You will just say things according to the questioning that they will give you. You need to be comfortable, and then you can be able to open up. When you open up, then it will be easy now to be able to manage. You now are actually becoming self-aware of what you are going through. Sometimes we are not able to be self-aware on our own, and that is why you seek mental help. Yeah? Then from there, you are able now to restore your self-worth and then fight negativity, and then now be self-equipped to handle your emotions. I hope I've been able to answer your question. Another question, how do you assist one with emotional wounds apart from empathy and listening? One thing that you'll understand is that, Wanjiru, you can help me answer this question, but I will give my short answer. How do you assist one with emotional wounds apart from just empathy and listening? Listening is never enough. Showing empathy is never enough. Yes, you will show that. That will help. Yeah. But you need that person to realize the wound that they have, to accept the challenges or that they already have this wound. I have this problem, but how am I going to manage? What are the next steps? That is taking the initiative. Yes. And then you need now to secure your self-esteem. And I go through that process over and over again until you get it. And then you get rid of the guilt. If you think that that wound is as a result of your own actions, so you need to actually get rid of that guilt. Then you are able to restore your self-worth. Then from there, it will be easy to fight the negativity. Listening is not enough. If you are the one giving the care, listening is never enough. You listen, you advise, give your opinion, so that that person is able to realize exactly what is going on. Sometimes you will listen, yes, and then you will not give any solution. You're not helping. Okay, you've given the empathy, you've listened, but what next? Wanjiru, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, I can add on to whatever you've said. Most of the time, that's when you come to realize by listening and offering empathy, that's how you get to understand if somebody has an issue. But after you understand they have an issue, most of the time, is it beyond your control? Some of the issues are within our control. Some of them are beyond our controls. What do you do when it's beyond your control? You've listened, you've empathetic, you've shared into their anger, their loneliness, or their fear. Then it comes to solution. You need to offer solution. If it's something that you can be able to offer solutions to, you can be able to chip in and help, yes, you can go ahead and help. If it's something that is beyond you, that's where you need to seek professional help. I know it's not easy to refer somebody to go for counseling or refer somebody to a psychiatrist. It's not easy, but it's good to mention it. Prepare them, always checking up on them. The first time might not be easy to push them for counseling, but the more you keep checking up on them, don't ever give up. Don't give up on somebody. Just keep on checking up on them. How are you doing today? And nowadays it's very easy. We have phones, we have social media. Just check up on them. How are you doing? How are you doing today? How do you feel? Do you think you should always keep it as an option? Don't push it to them. Keep it as an option. Tell them if it gets too much, I think we should see a counselor. You can ask them how are we with the counseling issue if you feel like they're still having issues with the same thing. So follow-up is very, very important, because after listen, you can come and listen to me once and then you disappear. So follow-up until you're sure the person is okay. If they can be able to go over it without professional help, well and good. If you're not able to, then you can push in for the issue of professional help.
Okay, thank you very much. There is another question that I think I skipped. Please share the emotional intelligence quiz that you've just referred to. Will kindly write to us. We will be sharing to all the registrants of this webinar the emotional intelligence questionnaire, and immediately after the conference you'll be able to give us some feedback, and then we'll be able to actually capture your details, and then we'll be able to send you the questionnaire. It's a good questionnaire to be able to self-evaluate. Somebody else, somebody has raised her hand, Elizabeth Kilonzi. We are slightly past time. Kindly allow us another like 10 minutes. We should have finished. Kilonzi, you want to say something? Your hand is up. You can unmute yourself.
Hello.
Hello, we can hear you.
Hello. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm in a public place right now. I cannot ask that question. Maybe some other time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
You can type in your question. You can type in your question, and then we'll be able to answer you. Okay. Thank you very much for attending this webinar. And shortly, there's some videos that will play as we are finalizing. One thing that I will tell you is that practicing emotional intelligence is not easy. It is a whole lot of work. But first, you have to know yourself, know where you're coming from, and then from there you'll be able to study your environment. Then when you study your environment, you'll be able to realize how your emotions, how you affect others around you, then how it affects you. Emotional intelligence is a really wide topic, and we cannot finish it in one day. Until next time, thank you very much, and have a good day.
In these challenging times, accessing a doctor is as easy as breathing. Consult with your doctor on your mobile phone using the Sasa Doctor app and get your medication delivered to you. Sasa Doctor, your doctor is just a call away.
stay home. Stay safe. Stay healthy with SasaDoctor. Here is a detailed introduction to navigate through the SasaDoctor application. Step 1. Here is how to download the application. On your phone menu, click and open the Play Store application. On the search bar, type in SasaDoctor as one word, click on the application and proceed to installation. Once the application is installed, click on Open. This should be the first screen that appears. Step 2, Registration. Here is how to register on the SasaDoctor application. Click on the Create Account button to initiate a first-time registration. You have two options, to either register as a doctor or a patient. Click on the Patient button. Allow all prompts and permissions to ensure the application has the required access to run on your phone. Enter all information, including first and last name, username, which we prefer you use your mobile number, as this can only be registered to a specific person. Enter and confirm password and hit on the Next button. On this page, enter mobile number starting with 707, date of birth, gender, town or city, national ID, passport or military ID. Upload the front side, back side of your identification document and a selfie while holding your identification card and/or insurance card. Click on the Next button to proceed. On this page, you have an option to add your email address, physical address, employer, insurer and referral code. Kindly note, this page is not optional to anyone using insurance as their mode of payment. On the final registration page, add a clear selfie as your profile picture at the time of registration, to ensure ease of verification when seeing a doctor. Remember to cite if you have any existing medical conditions. Click on the Submit button. You have now been successfully registered. Step 3. How to add your family on the application. Click on the Add Family icon. Add all required information. This includes a clear profile picture, preferably one taken at the time of registration to ease the verification process when seeing a doctor, first and last name, national identification number. Note, leave blank while adding those under the age of 18 years, add relationship, gender, date of birth, town or city, and finally, remember to cite if they have any existing medical conditions. Once all information is added, click on the Submit button. Note, after adding a member, you can click on the pen tool to make any amendments. Children under the age of 10 are allowed to change their profile pictures every year during their birthday. Step 5. How to restart an appointment. In case you ran out of browsing data, phone charge etc. in the middle of a consultation, do not worry, you can restart your appointment as follows. Click on the hamburger menu or 3 bars icon on the top left corner of your application pages, click on the Appointments tab. Any scheduled and/or dropped visits will appear on the upcoming side, all completed visits will appear on the history side. Step 4. Modes of payment and how to see a doctor. Select Patient to see doctor. Click on the See Doctor Now button. You can either choose a doctor of choice using listing from A to Z, fee from low to high or specialty. Once on the Setup Payment page. There are several ways to make payment on the SasaDoctor application, which include M-Pesa, mobile money, credit card, insurance, Sasa Wallet and/or by using a coupon code. If you have been issued with a coupon code to use, enter and click Apply. Remember not to click on the other listed options when using a coupon code, simply enter the code and click on Apply, then hit the Next button to proceed to see a doctor. Read and accept all prompts. Take a clear selfie of yourself for verification prior to seeing a doctor. Read and accept the terms and conditions of the member's declaration consent. The connection to the doctor begins. In a few seconds, the virtual consultation on the SasaDoctor application starts. On the consultation screen, there are 4 buttons to take note of. From left to right, there is a microphone icon, this is the mute and unmute button, there is a flashlight icon, this is the flashlight on and off button, to enhance the video when in a dark place, there is a camera icon, this is to switch in between the main and selfie camera, a red call icon, this is to end the virtual consultation with the doctor, there is a chat icon, this is to chat directly with the doctor, this ensures the deaf and dumb can also make consultations with our doctors freely. After your SASA doctor visit, you will always receive a prompt to quit the video conferencing.
In these challenging times, accessing a doctor is as easy as breathing. Consult with your doctor on your mobile phone using the SASA Doctor app and get your medication delivered to you. SASA Doctor. Your doctor is just a call away. In these challenging times, accessing a doctor is as easy as breathing. Consult with your doctor on your mobile phone using the SASA Doctor app and get your medication delivered to you. SASA Doctor. Your doctor is just a call away.
Think about it, a doctor at your reach, in the comfort of your seat, hauhitaji laini. Sasa doctor, think about this, haupewi dawa wrong, hautoi pesa mob, matibabu kwa your phone. Sasa doctor, can you imagine hautoki kwa hao, prescription on your phone, nazo dawa at your door. Sasa doctor is the best.
Ukidai sasa niko fit na Sasa Doctor.
Sasa Doctor.
Thank you very much.